Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and we will be indoors inside Minute Maid Park on a hot Houston night for Game 1 of 3 between the Royals and the Astros. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg is coming up. This is great for baseball. I mean, the Royals and the Astros, it seems like just a year or two ago were on the bottom looking up, and now they're both in first place.
Man, an exciting series coming. Are you kidding me? Shocked the house here at Minute Maid that these guys are even in the race right now. But the two powerhouses are going to line up this weekend. Power, speed, both teams have it. Should be exciting.
Similar in that they're young and they're playing well and they're in first place, but very different in what they do offensively. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, runs per game is almost identical. The Royals get a lot of hits. The Astros hit a lot of home runs. The Royals don't strike out. The Astros do. I think it will be interesting to see how this plays out. All those home runs the Astros hit, and the Royals allow the fewest in the American League.
It is interesting how the numbers always line up, but I can tell you that the bottom line is scoring runs and for pitching to shut offenses down. Now, it's much easier to pitch underneath home run bats than it is to a frenzy offense like the Royals, and they all put the ball in play. Everybody knows it. Heck, a chop knock just like that. That's a rally for the Royals, and they've been there and done it. This should be a great matchup to see these two offenses perform in this three-game series.
We're going to see a good young pitcher tonight for the Astros, Lance McCullers. He'll be opposed by Joe Blanton, who was outstanding in Seattle at the beginning of this road trip, giving up just a couple of hits over 7 innings.
Carlos Correa had a Little League home run. Double turned into a home run yesterday. First player in franchise history to have 9 doubles in his first 20 games, and only Rusty Staub, George Springer, Jeff Bagwell, and Carlos Correa have reached safely in 18 of their first 20 games as an Astro. Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. Joel Goldberg out here in the Crawford boxes, and Carlos Correa and the Astros, they can hit. The batting averages are low. But it's interesting, they are totally different than the Royals, yet they score about the same amount of runs per game. A contrast of offensive styles, and out here at the Crawford boxes, a very easy target for home runs. But take a look at it. They score about the same amount of runs per game. Slugging percentage is similar too, but the Royals much higher with the contact percentage. And then when it comes to hitting home runs, the Royals do it once out of about every 44 at-bats, but the Astros once out of about every 23 at-bats. The Royals, though, don't strike out. Striking out once every 6.5 plate appearances. The Astros once every 4 plate appearances. So they go about it different ways. Much higher batting averages for the Royals and fewer strikeouts. The Astros, they oftentimes are swinging for the fences out here in the Crawford boxes. Should be a fun series between two young teams. First pitch is coming up next.
Universe revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By our local Kansas City Chevy dealers. Come visit for great prices on all the new 2015 Chevys. And by the Missouri Lottery, every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. It is exactly what you would expect at the end of June in Houston. It is very hot and humid outside, but very comfortable inside Minute Maid Park. And on the topic of comfort, at least for now, the Royals have a comfortable 5.5 game lead over Minnesota, 6.5 over Detroit in the American League Central. Our State Farm batting order, and there was a late change just a few moments ago. When Ned Yost met with the media, he said Alcides Escobar's finger was sore, but it was fine. He would play. And then the change was made. Christian Colon will be at short. So Gerard Dyson, who is going to bat ninth, will hit leadoff.
What happened is Escobar went out to test drive his finger during batting practice, and things just weren't working. We don't know whether it was throwing or hitting.
And now the Astros take the field. They are very good here. They have won 17 of their last 24 home games. They are in first place in the American League West. They have some good young starting pitching, and the Royals are going to see two of their best, beginning with Lance McCullers, who did not start the season in the big leagues, but now he's made 8 starts and has a 2.33 ERA.
He's a young thrower. That's right. He hasn't developed into a pitcher yet. He's very aggressive with his fastball, so sometimes that'll cause some inconsistent command when you got a young guy out there that's a thrower. However, he's got great stuff. Electric fastball, big overhand curve, and a changeup that'll be a good test for the free swinging Royals.
And a look at the Astros defensively. The Astros can hit home runs. They pitch, and they're pretty good defensively. Plus 20 in defensive runs saved. That's 8th best in the American League. The Royals are still leading in that category in the major leagues.
Jason Castro, he has thrown out 33% of runners this year. There's one of their new hot shots.
Carlos Correa, the first overall pick in 2012. He is 20 years old, but they say playing like a veteran. Not only playing well, but he is already very popular in the clubhouse because of his attitude and his demeanor.
Well, this guy's a can't miss superstar. There's no doubt about it. But it's first time through for him, so he has the edge. The pitchers are all trying to feel him around, see what pitches he can handle, which ones he can't. The real tale will be later in August and September after the second time around. We'll see how they adjust to him. A good energetic ball club, the Houston Astros.
Rod Dyson has gotten quite a bit of playing time on this road trip. He started 2 games in Seattle, and he got to start yesterday in Oakland, and he's made the most of it. He has hit .364 on the trip. And now a chance to lead off, get things going for the Royals. And he will take a strike.
He'll go anywhere from 93 to 96. Might see some 98s, but he's more comfortable around averaging 93 miles an hour. And he's going to let it go just like that. So for Dyson and a lot of the players, that fastball up, don't even attempt at it. Look down in the zone on this guy.
The Astros offense has a lot of power, but really their pitching staff does not. McCullers is one of the few guys who is better than a strikeout per inning pitched. And when you look at the advanced numbers, they will tell you that the Astros pitching staff has the second lowest average fastball in the American League. And Dyson gets around on 93 miles an hour. And the Royals begin the game with a runner at second base.
Colors won't back off the throttle. He's a tremendous competitor. A lot of that's genetics from his dad, Lance Sr., who was a big league pitcher. Now that fastball in, Dyson pulls his hands in nicely. He's done so well on staying on top of the ball. He's not hitting any pop-ups anymore. He's starting to find his stroke, and that's why Ned doesn't hesitate to put him in there.
It's the 80th time in Dyson's career he has led off. And now way outside to Mike Moustakas, who has hit safely in 11 of his last 12 games. He has driven in 4 on this road trip.
First pitch changeup. He likes his changeup. He has some good sinking action to it, does McCullers. But his curveball is his pitch to go to when runners are in scoring position. Now, first time through with a power fastball like that, he's going to try to establish that. But as he sees the Royals later in this game, runners get out there, he's going to bring the sky hook. It's a big bender. Haven't seen one yet. Moose knows what to do here. 2-0. He's looking for the same thing Gerard got. A fastball in. Pull it.
Got a fastball up and hits a fly ball to left field. That will not advance Dyson. One down in the top of the first.
That's what the high fastball can do if you swing at it. It's going to be a real test for the Royals to lay off of that pitch. Pretty consistent so far in his young career.
That's rare for a young pitcher to get better. And you mentioned his father, Lance McCullers Sr., played parts of 7 seasons in the big leagues, and I wonder if that has something to do with Lance Jr. being able to keep his composure in the later innings.
Oh, you better believe it. You're raised around a big league clubhouse, and you're a young kid, and you're in that environment, and you listen to your dad coming home at night talking about pitching. That has to help.
Kane had a good swing at a fastball. He is the DH today. Still bothered by a sore hamstring, and Ned Yost told us before the game tonight that Kane felt really good yesterday, that he felt like he could have played the field, but Ned decided to give him the day off, and then Kane did hit later in the game, but they're still going to be cautious with that hamstring. Here's the curve. 1-1.
A little tighter break. We'll see as he goes along. He adds and subtracts off of that. So that in turn turns into a couple different pitches. There's a little inside move. If you're a little bit worried about Dyson ripping him off, Altuve have a little chat with him, saying, hey, look, worry about the hitter. We'll take care of Dyson. And if he steals, let him steal. But he's given up some ground there by standing on that bag.
I've got the home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher.
Ouch. Well, at least Castro's mask deflected some of it. Lorenzo Cain, he had his pole swing on. A few meetings going on. Once Altuve, now Castro's going out there to talk to him. The outfield very shallow for Lorenzo Cain. What they're counting on is Lorenzo getting a clean base hit if he does, but they want to throw Dyson out. Shallow. And this is a Houston Astros team that does a lot of shifting, a lot of movement you'll see in their infield. And you know, for a young shortstop like Correa, he's used to it, the shifts, because in their system they shift him in the A ball, AA, AAA. They all play the same kind of ball. Lorenzo Cain got him a cookie, but he tried a little too hard. Good swing, just a tick off of it as he pulled his shoulder off.
Altuve's playing like a first baseman, basically playing on the bag.
But doing that, you know, you're taking a chance, and that's what you do sometimes in baseball. I don't think Cain's going to hit that little hole over there. He's staying right on top of the bag.
There's the curve again. Cain strikes out, and 2 down with Dyson at second base.
Like I said, that curveball is going to be the pitch he's going to go to with a runner in scoring position. And a big difference between the only other curve he threw. This one he took more speed off and it had more depth to it. Bigger break. Fooled him. First time through, sometimes it's okay to take a few of those. Just see him. You know, see him, and then if it calls you out, well, then you know what? I just want to be able to put that in my memory bank for next time around.
Ball 1-2. Kendrys Morales, who gets another start at first base. Eric Hosmer bothered by a sprained left ring finger, and Ned Yost hinted that Hosmer may not play at all in this series, at least not the first 2 games, to let that finger heal. And the Royals are in good hands with Morales playing over at first. He did quite a bit of that playing for the Angels, and he has an 11-game hitting streak. Kendrys drove in 3 in the Oakland series.
Left fielder Preston Tucker and right fielder Domingo Santana are young players but don't have any assists yet up here this year. Center fielder George Springer has 4 outfield assists. Good arm.
We had heard, and I don't remember who told us, but someone made a point that came in our booth and said, wait till you go and play the Astros. You will be shocked at how shallow they play in the outfield. They're playing like there's a pitcher hitting. And Cain has some power, Morales has some power, Moustakas has some power, but they are shallow at all 3 positions. And that probably gets back to the numbers. I'm sure there's some numbers that say you're going to get hurt more by bloops than you are balls that carry to the warning track.
That's That's right. Also, it's pretty good home run hitting park, especially the left field. 315 down the line. They're going to play. They're figuring anything over their heads is going to be out of the park anyway. So they're going to take everything inside. Same way that they play in Colorado. Fences are deeper, but the air is thinner, so they always play in. Anything over your head is going to be out. Second meeting now in the inning to try to get through the Royals top of the first.
Salvador Perez with his 12 home runs, which leads the Royals, and he had a big one yesterday in Oakland. It really hasn't been a great trip for Sal. He's only had 4 hits, but that was exactly what the Royals needed to pull away from the A's yesterday and finish off Oakland with a sweep.
Well, 3 of those 4 hits have been extra base hits. I don't think anybody's too concerned about Sal. And he doesn't have to rush out and try to jump that and hit it in the short porch and left. Sal is a hitter. He's going to have to focus mentally on the opposite field. That'll keep him quick in there.
Up the middle, Altuve guarding the middle. A little risky play there. He underhanded that ball to the bag, figuring that Correa would run it down, which he did, and the Royals let McCullers off the hook in the first inning. In 2001 and 2002, and his team has been the surprise of Major League Baseball, leading what has been a very disappointing and mediocre AL West. They have a 4-game lead over another surprise team, the Texas Rangers. And here's that lineup with all that thunder. Astros lead the league in home runs. They also lead the league in stolen bases, a combination of power and speed. And here's Joe Blanton as we go in the driver's seat, presented by Kia. 2 starts, 2-0, 1.64 ERA.
That'll get you another start. You keep having back-to-back starts like that. And his mechanics have been flawless. Very good. He's in great physical shape. Downhill, forces that lead shoulder to stay down there. Sky-high pop-up.
Looking at that ball up against the rafters with the roof closed. And now look at the Royals defensively, which features Kendrys Morales at first base, Gerard Dyson in center, and Christian Colon at short.
Morales, absolutely no issues at first base at all. Stays on his toes. He's got soft hands, and one of the reasons is he takes ground balls every single day at shortstop, third base, second base, first base. Keeps his hands sharp. He knows for that one time he's going to get a start, how important that position is to make that play. He's ready. Hard worker.
1-1 to Jose Altuve, last year's batting champion. Led the league in hitting, led the league in hits, and he led the league in stolen bases. As mostly a leadoff hitter, but A.J. Hinch has been using George Springer as the leadoff man and batting Altuve second.
Springer's their energetic player. He's got tremendous energy, and he's got a pretty good eye up there at the plate, but he likes to lead him off to get that team going. This is a guy here that'll tell you big surprises come in small packages. Total player.
Lined right to Moustakas, 2 down.
There are Moose fans everywhere you go now.
And now the guy that the game has been talking about, the entire industry has been talking about, 20-year-old Carlos Correa, already batting third for the Astros.
Just his 21st game. I think the first time I ever hit third, I had 8 years in the majors.
And probably 8 guys on the disabled list.
Exactly. This kid here, he's a real deal. He's got really good power. He's got range. He's very mature beyond his years.
Two balls, 1 strike. First overall pick for the Astros in 2012 out of a baseball academy in Puerto Rico. The name of his high school was the Puerto Rico Baseball Academy. Dyson out into left center field will make the play, and Joe Blanton gets the Astros in order in the bottom of the first. August 9th, that's the Royals and the White Sox. Alex Gordon coming to the plate, and a Star Wars themed entertainment will be part of the festivities that day. We hope you'll dress up as your favorite character. If you purchase the special ticket package, you'll get a Jedi Alex Gordon bobblehead.
Boy, that looks exciting. I think Alex might be he's a little too humble for that, but he'll go with it.
I would imagine that he had to sign off on that.
You would think,
didn't he?
I'm not privy to all that stuff that goes on in the marketing department, but whatever they're doing, is working. People lined up at the K early in games to get those bobbleheads. It's exciting to see. I got to believe they got the best bobbleheads in baseball. The creativity, the moose going over the wall. Jedi Gordon. McCullers works quickly. He's the guy who gets right up there and throws it. He's a Gordo Nation fan.
Just nicked it foul. Still 1-2. Lance McCullers is just 21 years old. He was taken in that same draft that Carlos Correa was taken. In fact, they got Correa for several $1 million below slot. How did the Astros pull that off? But they did. They made a deal with him before the draft, and in the money saved, they signed McCullers, who had dropped down in the draft and had high demands, and the Astros were able to meet that because of the money that they saved with Correa.
Nice.
2-2.
McCullers so far early looks a little bit like the A's Jesse Chavez and Jesse Hahn. A couple of those guys have high fastballs and big curves. So it's a similar look that McCullers has, although McCullers has a little bit more fuzz on his fastball. A little more hair. Harder.
Wide open on the left side, and that's the pitch that McCullers wanted. I think it was the third pitch that Castro gave him. So he wanted to go with that breaking ball, and Alex goes the other way for a leadoff single.
Good two-strike approach. Left it up, just used his hands and trusted it. Hit it where it was pitched. Try to do too much with that, pop it up or you strike out.
Alex Rios with a runner at first, nobody out. Rios still doesn't have his timing back since coming back from the disabled list. He did, however, yesterday chip in with a sacrifice fly, tying the game. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talking with Dale Swain before the game about Rios, he said, you know, Rios is doing what a lot of players do. He's pulling, swings a little bit long. He's got to shorten up that swing, get a few base hits to right, then get going. Quick curveball there, a power curve.
Lays off that breaking ball. 2-2.
Hey, far enough right now, Lance. Come on, kid.
Houston Astros are 4th in the American League in team ERA. Like the Royals, they have a very good bullpen. Starters more middle of the pack. But a lot of really good young arms. The Royals will see McCullers tonight. They will see Dallas Keuchel tomorrow, and there's a lot of buzz about Keuchel perhaps being Ned Yost's starter at the All-Star game. And then a young guy, Vince Velasquez, on Wednesday night. Three and two. A lot of questions today for Ned Yost before the game from the Houston media, had to do with All-Star related topics, including as he considered Dallas Keuchel as his starting pitcher. Grounded foul outside of third base. And you know, Ned just loves speculation questions. He loves questions about things that may or may not happen 2 weeks down the road.
Take your tongue out of your cheek.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, a million things can happen between now and then.
But does a nice job getting around.
Alex runs, grounded to Altuve, so that gets the Royals out of a double play. Rios is out. Gordon goes to second. A.J. Hinch previously managed for the Arizona Diamondbacks, so this is his second big league managing job. And our Toyota League leaders for tonight. Only the Cardinals and the Dodgers have been in first place longer than the Astros, or the Cardinals in front of the Astros, the Dodgers in front of the Royals. So the Astros have spent most of the season on top of their division and really haven't been challenged yet by anybody. Fonte hits it hard towards center field. Alex back to tag. Springer has a strong arm, and Alex will hold.
And Fonte looking for that first pitch fastball, and he got it, but it's a little out in front. He hit off the end of his bat. Royals 285 as a team with runners in scoring position. Their offense is, but on this road trip, just 265. What a perfect night for Colon to get his first major league homer.
And why is that?
Short
The
porch.
ballpark?
Yep,
Okay.
315. All you got to do is get a little fly ball. Walls not quite as high as Fenway Park, but all you got to do is just get under it a little with a little bit of pull in it, and it's got a chance.
Now see, this Escobar has that right index finger wrapped. Royals are without a hot hitter. Escobar has hit .370 on this road trip. Don't want to be out with a finger injury, but he plays every day, so it may not be a bad thing for him to be off of his legs for a day or two.
No, obviously something didn't feel right during batting practice. It's okay to take a chill pill and relax. Let Colon do it. 2 strikes, see if he can find a hole. Two outs, outfield extremely shallow, like we mentioned earlier. Right fielder Domingo Santana, he's just breathing down Altuve, the second baseman, his neck. So Alex, if he's going to score on a base hit to right, he'll have to get a good jump from second.
Hard breaking ball, 86 miles an hour, strikes out Colon. So for a second straight inning, the Royals leave a runner in scoring position. Long road trip. And then Friday, it's another Buck Night and summer fireworks. Buck Night presented by Visit KC. Stock up on dollar hot dogs and peanuts. And then after the game, a fireworks spectacular courtesy of Hy-Vee and Pepsi. That's the Royals and the Minnesota Twins. You will see Minnesota, Tampa Bay, and Toronto during the upcoming homestand. So this is going to turn around for the Royals in a couple of days. They're finishing off a stretch of 17 out of 22 on the road. 1-1 on Luis Valbuena, who leads the Astros with 19 home runs. And he hits 195.
Tell you what he's looking for. All or nothing. Good curveball there. Joe Blanton, he'll sink his fastball 88 to 93 slider and a curve. Oh, excuse me, a changeup. Slider almost looks like a curve.
Oh, Albert Pujols. Valbuena, diving play Moustakas. And no chance for a throw, but impressive just to get to that ball and get it in the glove.
Who's showing off a little range, but look, when you're that far in the hole and you can't quite get to your feet, he did the right thing. Put it in your pocket. Great effort. Blanton, he knows well from the very first time he towed the slab in a Royals uniform. That defense made some plays for him in that first game at the K. I'll never forget it, and neither will he. So he knows to keep the ball down and pitch that defense, especially against this guy.
Big Chris Carter. He has 13 home runs. He has already struck out 102 times.
Well, he's another all or nothing guy. And you can pitch underneath of power bats and put them in a slump. That was a nice spot there. Blanton giving home plate umpire Andy Fletcher a second look, saying, really? Where was that?
And this is nothing new for Carter. He's had some big strikeout seasons. That strikeout total leads the major leagues. Carter a couple of years ago struck out 212 times. One ball, two strikes. 3 hits, all home runs for Carter against Blanton.
Interesting. Hitters know what they're doing against that night's starting pitcher. Believe that.
Fastball got him looking. So expecting Blanton to go off speed ahead in the count 1-2. And that's Joe's first strikeout.
You could see Carter thinking all the way up here. Locked him up, and because of that, you got to go.
John Singleton, Astros designated hitter, just called up, and it was just a few years ago that he was the Astros' #1 prospect. Originally out of the Phillies organization.
Big power, another guy. They're trying to produce. Power hitter, 17 home runs, 66 ribbies in Fresno, their AAA affiliate, and just 264 at bats. So he's got some pop. Salvi's going to stay away from that power.
And Blanton appears to be frustrated with the strike zone.
Seen a couple of different looks he's given the home plate umpire, but he's a veteran. Both of them are. Fletcher's in his 16th year as an umpire.
Four-pitch walk, and the Astros have runners at first and second. And now Salvador Perez senses the frustration. He's going to go out and have a chat.
Well, you know, Salvy's, he's really good at that. He's picking his times to go to the mound, and timing's everything. Yesterday, for Guthrie, he went out and encouraged Guthrie and made him feel good and got Guthrie back right. Blanton a little bit frustrated. Shoulder flying out.
That's Blanton's first walk as a starter, and it comes in his 13th inning. Preston Tucker, rookie left fielder. And Blanton misses again, ball one. Tucker out of the Astros system, drafted out of the University of Florida. Good pitch, figuring that Tucker knew that Blanton was going to throw a strike after missing with 5 straight, and Blanton went with a slider.
Good off speed. Sometimes Dave Island was telling me before the game, when Blanton gets in trouble, his lower half gets out ahead of his arm, and his arm drags and leaves it up and going away, just kind of like Salvi was trying to remind him of that. But Blanton has shown Dave Island's good mechanics, a nice release point, good separation of the hands. Everything's working for him coming into tonight. He's just rushing. He's a little bit flying open now.
2-2. Blanton pitching out of the stretch for the first time in 3 starts. We're going back a couple of starts. He did not pitch out of the stretch one time on Monday at Seattle, as he got an out, gave up a home run, and then retired 16 straight Mariners.
Cruising. Preston Tucker, you can tell here's another power hitter they're trying to develop. He's an all or nothing, strong, pull happy. Wants to hit that ball out of the ballpark. I mean, every swing, never gets cheated.
Full count.
There's Gary Pettis, third base coach of the Astros. I would doubt they would send the runners 3-2 with 1 out with a big strikeout guy waiting to happen. I'd be surprised.
Another walk. So back-to-back walks allowed by Blanton. Dave Island will be patient and wait in the Royals dugout as Blanton now enters the bottom of the Astros batting order. Number 8 hitter Domingo Santana coming up.
Another young power hitter from the right side.
Fastball with some movement in for a strike to Santana.
That's that good looking hard 2-seam sinker there. He wants to get that going. Keep it right down there. Hope that he hits it at somebody. They can roll a pair and get out of the inning.
Almost hit him on the thigh. 1-1.
6'5", 230. Domingo Santana.
fastball down the middle for a strike.
Know what he's looking for.
They're not picking up the ball. As Chris Carter, remember, he took a fastball close to the middle of the plate for a call third strike.
Bases are loaded.
I mean, just run it up there. They don't see it.
You gotta. You'll never make contact if you don't swing. Let's see what he does here. Good opportunity for a breaking ball down. Put him in the lane.
Wanted him to chase that pitch. In fact, Sal pointed his glove out at Bland. That's right where they wanted it. An infield single and 2 walks has loaded the bases for the Astros. Back with that same pitch.
This seems to me like Blanton is nibbling a little around the plate. Good 2-seam hard fastball, 90 to 93 is a pitch he wants to establish, and he's going a lot to his secondary pitches.
Tied him up, and that may not have been a strike.
Good spot. You see that swing. First swing we've seen him take big and long.
Bases loaded, walk. 3 consecutive walks. So Valbuena with the infield single comes around to score, and that will bring Dave Island out of the Royals dugout.
Obviously having some mechanical difficulties. I don't know if it's more physical or more mental. Blanton shouldn't be rattled by the fact that this is a powerful team and these young guys are hard slingers. He's got good enough stuff that he can get under those bats if he's working his sinker. But to me, he's not using his 2-seam sinker enough.
So 3 walks in this inning. In Blanton's first 27 innings this year, he walked 3. And now Jason Castro, Castro's number 9 hitter, and batting just .215. Blanton will stay out of the stretch, and Castro hits it in the air to center field. Should be deep enough for Singleton. In fact, 2 runners will move up as Dyson plays it to second. Singleton scores. Tucker goes to third, and Houston leads 2-0.
Castro, he's been around long enough to know that after that the pitching coach goes out and talks to the pitcher, you're going to get a good pitch to hit. And it was elevated, not down where Blanton wants to be.
And now the leadoff man, George Springer. He was going for it all.
And most of the time he swings like that.
We were here last year in April when George Springer was called up from the minor leagues. He made his big league debut April the 16th. That looked like a swing. Yep. Jordan Baker is the first base umpire. Springer ended up getting his first big league hit that night, an infield single against Jeremy Guthrie.
I remember that. .363 on base percentage. 40 walks, so he does have a pretty good eye. That's one of the reasons he's in that leadoff spot.
And 86 strikeouts.
Interesting. AJ Hinch told me before the game, don't pay any attention to the strikeout numbers.
Okay, we won't, but we'll take them.
Blanton will.
The Astros get 2 on a bases loaded walk and a sacrifice fly. if the Royals achieve that tonight for that young fellow, that would put the Royals 17 games above 500 as they have the best record in the American League. And more pitching is on the way. Our University of Kansas Hospital injury report. Chris Medlin pitched today with Omaha. Gave up 2 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Contact pitcher today. No walks, no strikeouts. 72 pitches, which is high for 3 2/3 innings. But still a ways to go before he rejoins the Royals.
Steady as she goes. There you go. Medlin has a chance to be a nice little shot in the arm down the stretch for the Royals.
Gerard Dyson bats leadoff for the Royals tonight. And in leading off the first inning, he doubled to right. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher took a foul ball off of his right hand in the second inning. So he got that wrapped up by the Astros training staff. 0-2 on Dyson, so he was at second base with nobody out and never got to third. But he's also had the leadoff man on in the second inning. Pullers has pitched well with men on base. We talked about Dyson yesterday in Oakland and how he's been able to maintain with not a whole lot of playing time this year, but this is his 4th start on the trip. Curveball a little bit high, 2-2.
Dyson's been staying level with the swing. Been talking about it. He has that one-handed takeoff swing where he puts a good level stroke on, but he's able to guide it through with his bottom hand. Takes off his top hand.
Colors lollipops it over to first. 1 down. Well, Royals fans, the next time you're looking for great seats, go to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Every ticket, every day. And with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Royals tickets anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone. Ball 1 to Mike Moustakas. McCullers made a good pitch on Moustakas in the first inning. Dyson was at second and nobody out. Moustakas looking for a pitch to pull, and McCullers made a good pitch up. And Moustakas flied to left, holding Dyson at second base.
Well, you know, Gerard hits the top of the ball like that with that kind of speed. That could really challenge McCullers. So there was one thing missing. That's a speedy guy like Dyson going half speed, not even running the ball out. That still bothers me, but obviously doesn't bother him. He's been told about it. Well, look, it's his career.
Well, I'll admit I was hopeful when McCullers just lollipopped it over there. I thought this might be a close play.
Right. So on contact, you become a runner. And when you have exceptional speed like this from the left side, you burn that and take off and go hard. But look at him, he pulls the parachute out. I just don't understand that. And obviously McCullers saw it, so he says, oh, I got plenty of time. Thank you. I'll make the easy out. But if he runs down the line and busts it 3-7 or whatever his time is when he's running, he might throw that ball away and rush it. Speed does a lot, but you got to use it properly.
It also could mean that McCullers isn't real comfortable throwing over to first base. I mean, with a lob toss like that. So make the play more difficult on him. Mike Moustakas on Saturday lost a 10-game hitting streak.
and then started a new one yesterday with a double, leading off what ended up being a 3-run inning. Royals were down 2-0 going into the 6th, doing very little against Jesse Chavez. They scored 3 in that inning. That is the 3rd strikeout for McCullers, all with that pitch, that power curveball. 2 down in the 3rd inning.
Starting their 2nd time through, they'll be telling themselves, look, this is that's the first strike, though, that he's thrown with that pitch. The other 2 strikeouts were balls down in the dirt. So they're going to, 2nd time through, have to start being a little bit more selective with that and trying to pick up that rotation best you can. But it's hard when you got an electric fastball like McCullers has, and he's setting it up with that.
95 over the outside to Kane. He struck out on a curve in the 1st inning.
The Royals had runners in scoring position first 2 innings, but they're 0 for 5. So if they want to win, they're going to have to get a big hit.
The center field Springer with a great diving play. And you know, Kane's done that to many hitters in the league. Gets a little taste of his own medicine.
Nice speed, good athleticism. Great catch.
Really a nice gesture on his behalf. He could pick anybody, but for him to recognize what we're doing here, you know, obviously it's very humbling for him to, you know, to pick me as somebody who's going to be next to him, and it meant a lot to, you know, sort of establish that as a thank you to what's going on here.
Had a chance to ask AJ about that before the game, and you know, Ned said that the 2 managers he picked, Lloyd McClendon, was because Lloyd's career.
You know, Joel, it's the 2nd time this year in the middle of a report and the other team hits a home run.
We're trying to say something nice about the Astros. Anyway, he's going to the All-Star game. Jose Altuve might too.
Home run number 7 for Jose Altuve, and that gives Houston a 3-0 lead in the 3rd inning.
Joe Blanton has been elevating ever since he got on the mound. I mean, that ball's there. It's belt high. He's got to be knee high. Told you, big surprises come in small packages. That's his 7th homer of the year.
And with the short porch, that was several rows back. That's a home run just about anywhere. Anything else, Joel?
No, not really. Just just the fact that there's not a lot of history between A.J. Hinch and Ned Yost, and that A.J. wanted to make sure that he sought out Ned before the game to thank him for that gesture, because he could have gone with anybody. And in the case of Lloyd McClendon, it was, well, Lloyd's career began in Cincinnati, a nice move to bring him back to Cincinnati. In A.J.'s case, just a way to recognize what these young Astros are doing.
1-1 to Correa, and now 2 balls and 1 strike. Correa flied out to Dyson in the first inning. Got jammed. And Malone throws him out, 1 away. Christian Colon at shortstop tonight as Alcides Escobar was bothered by that split nail on his right index finger. And he did that on a ground ball yesterday in Oakland. Colon finished that game at shortstop. Escobar finished the inning where he was hit on the finger, but came out later in the game. 1 away to Luis Valbuena.
You're a backup player like Colon. You see what's going on. He came to the ballpark prepared to play today, mentally. Didn't say anything to anybody, but he waited to see. And now he's in there. That sure helps when a guy has a little time to prepare mentally for a start. Pitcher especially, but a defensive player really helps.
Two and 1 to Valbuena. He reached with an infield single last inning, and that got the Astros going for a 2-run inning. And Colon will drop his glove and out into right center field, and Valbuena is 2 for 2.
Joe Blanton's got to make some adjustments out there by keeping his 2-seamer down and hitting his spots, or they're going to get him, especially with all this power in this lineup here, and he doesn't have an overpowering pitch. He can blow it by guys. If he's not down, someone will catch him again. He's got to really try to keep it down and use the defense and keep his team in the game here. Down 3-0. Royals have comeback ability. They all know that.
Chris Carter struck out looking at a fastball in the second inning, hitting .197 with 103 strikeouts and 13 home runs. 2-0.
It's hard to change the type of hitter that you are, especially when you're as big and strong as Carter. I wouldn't see him going in the offseason, going working in the cage, shortening up his swing, trying to cut his strikeouts down. He's an all or nothing. He's a power hitter. That's how he makes his living. So he don't care that much about strikeouts.
But how many home runs, and this is not a rhetorical question, something to think about, how many home runs justify 200 outs where you make absolutely nothing happen?
It's up to a front office, a GM or a manager. Their lineup can handle that. If not, they might go with somebody else.
I mean, is it 30, 35, 40, or maybe the question is how many runs does he need to drive in where you feel like, okay, that balances out 200 times no contact, no movement, no pressure on the defense, and making it out. Foul.
30,
off the left field
I'll
line.
say 30, 35 homers, over 100 ribbies. You got to have that. 120. I mean,
okay.
He's got to have. You got to put together a monster year. That's of course staying healthy. He's not their only guy. They're developing, as we're seeing in the lineup against Blanton tonight. A couple of other power hitters that are young, they're bringing up and putting in their lineup. So obviously those guys are swinging miss guys too.
Still 3-2.
And this organization, how they use the metric system and how they're numbers oriented, computer oriented, they probably have all the numbers figured out. That's why they're putting all their home run hitters in there. Just a guess.
Well, they lead the league in strikeouts and they're 5th in runs scored. Valbuena runs, and that is out of play. So maybe there's the answer to the question right there. I mean, you can live with the strikeouts if you're 5th in the league in runs scored, or where do you need to be in runs scored before you say, you know what, guys, we need to concentrate on making a little more contact. 5th in the league. A lot of teams in the American League would take 5th in the league in runs scored. Very high to right center. Rios takes charge. 2 down. Well, we got another update today on the American League All-Star voting. Omar Infante still leads at second base, but a slim margin over Jose Altuve. And during batting practice today, everything that had a light attached to it inside this ballpark said, vote Altuve.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on.
Josh Donaldson has taken over at third base. He's having an MVP type season, and Nelson Cruz has taken over at DH.
Pretty tight.
And no sign of Jason Kipnis as far as the voting goes.
He's having a heck of a year there at second base.
Indians have struggled. Not that badly, though. I mean, but their attendance has been either second to last or dead last. So there hasn't been a whole lot of fan engagement with the Indians. Kipnis has suffered from that. One and 2 on John Singleton. He reached with the first of 3 consecutive walks dished out by Blanton last inning, and ended up scoring on the bases loaded walk to Domingo Santana. Sal wants his pitch as low as possible, and it is low, but Singleton is not tempted. 2 and 2.
Astros expending a lot of pitches from Blanton, making him pitch.
Deep and foul. But there's a little display of John Singleton's power. Singleton made some headlines last year. Well, first of all, he hit a home run in his first major league game, and then 14 days later, he got a 5-year contract.
Wow. How about that?
Astros tearing a page out of a book that the Cleveland Indians wrote years ago, locking up players and a group of players long term, give them some financial security, give the team some security. So 2 weeks. Evan Longoria had the same thing when he came up very shortly into their big league career, getting a long-term contract extension. But this is just his second game in the big leagues this year. Spent almost the entire season in AAA.
Well, they obviously see a future in it, no question. Good, strong throwing arm in right field.
Three balls, 2 strikes, and Joe Blanton is, with his body language, is really showing his frustrations on the mound tonight.
hasn't been good, and you can tell just by watching. It's all about body language, and he should be able to control that. He's been around long enough. Veteran.
Valbuena runs, and Singleton walks for a second time, and Joe Blanton has walked more in 3 innings tonight than he did in his first 26 innings.
Yep.
And the Royals are going to call down to the bullpen in the 3rd inning.
Dave Island told me before the game he's got 100 pitches in him. If the situation of the game dictates he can go 100, he will. But if not, we'll get him out of there.
Brandon Finnegan, who has spent some time in the minor leagues this year as a starter, will begin to play catch. And now Preston Tucker, he was on with a walk last inning. And that's a swing. Jerry Meals is the third base umpire and crew chief.
He really tries to get out there. And against Blanton, you don't really have to. It's not overpowering. You can wait.
Blooped. Shallow center field and down for a hit. They'll play it to third. Runner is safe. That would have been very close if the Royals had gotten the out at third base. I don't know if Valbuena had scored. It would have been a very close play, but it's a moot point. Singleton is safe. Valbuena scores, and the Astros have a 4-0 lead in the 3rd inning.
I could tell when Christian Colon, he looked to Lorenzo Cain while the ball was in flight. Gerard Dyson. And the minute he looked at center, that told me he didn't have it. Nice overhand throw. Just a little bit off the bag, else they would have gotten it. It's Richie Dower over there, first base coach. Long time coach and player in the majors.
And a former Royals coach, former Royals third base coach. The Astros have quite a few members of their coaching staff who have spent time with the Royals. Ball 1 to Domingo Santana. He walked with the bases loaded last inning. Four runs, 4 hits, 4 walks for the Astros. 2 balls, no strikes. There's Trey Hillman, former Royals manager. He was bench coach for Don Mattingly in the Dodgers for several years, and now his first year as Astros bench coach. And now 3 balls and no strikes. I think no matter what happens here, Joe Blanton is pitching to his last hitter.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been good. We talked about his lower half. His lower half and upper half are not in sync. The lower half's getting out ahead of that arm, leaves the arm behind, it drags, and it leaves the pitch up. Just like that. Not his night.
Singleton scores, and Houston leads 5-0 in the 3rd inning. So Joe Blanton, in his first 2 starts, gave up 2 earned runs in 11 innings. And now tonight he's given up 5 in 2 2/3 innings. And Ned Yost has to go to the bullpen very early. Chevy call to the bullpen is Brandon Finnegan. Brandon Finnegan will take over with 2 down in the 3rd inning. We remind you, MLB.Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in HD with highlights, live look-ins, and pitch tracking every night on every device. Brandon Finnegan has pitched at the big league level 14 1/3 innings over 8 games.
He's done a nice job. Opponent's only hitting 156 off of him. See if he can stay down in the strike zone. Strikes. Fastball, slider. Occasional change-ups to righties. Low to mid-90s.
At second base, Tucker, he's driven in a run with a single, and at first base, Santana, he has driven in a run with a single. Altuve has also homered in this inning. He hit that ball twice?
He did. Second time might have been with his hands, but contact was made.
Finnegan, among his 8 appearances, has gone 3 innings once and 2 2/3 innings twice. Three pitches, and he gets the Royals out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Astros add 3, and at the end of 3, Houston leads 5-0. Extraordinary moments happen every single night. Maybe we'll have one here tonight with the Royals come back. But on one night, they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock Central from Cincinnati on Tuesday, July 14th on Fox. So a tough night so far for the Royals on the mound for one, and number 2 in the first 2 innings. They got some runners against Lance McCullers, who has pitched well with men on base and in scoring position. Nelson Cruz with a slim lead over Kendrys Morales for the DH spot. Kendrys is the first baseman tonight.
Now you get a power hitter from the left side with Morales, switch hitter. I think Ned Yost would prefer that. Nelson Cruz, though, he's accomplished power hitter.
1 on Morales, who took a walk in the first inning. Hosmer has a sprained left ring finger. It really hurts him to throw as well as grip the bat, so he is not available on defense. 2-1.
Slide head first, you take chances like that.
The Royals had a couple of casualties on that double steal on Saturday. Kane's hamstring got sore, and Hosmer hurt his finger on the same play. Good location for McCullers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's had a wicked curveball. He has 4 strikeouts and 3 in the 3rd innings, all with that pitch.
Royals could be in trouble against this guy. He's looking good.
Salvador Perez is our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. And how important is Salvador Perez production? He is big in wins, and when he does not have a good game, most of the time the Royals lose, which is a lot of pressure and a big compliment. Salvi plays well, the team plays well.
He's aggressive. I know a couple of the Houston Astros media people, our friends up here, saw that he has 4 walks and they said, he only has 4 walks? Well, look, you know what? He can hit. He swings it.
Altuve will bring it down, going over to the left side of second base, 2 away.
Taking a look at Lance McCullers. He's got a nice full windup. Hands over the head, step back, and then that ball on the release gets on the hitters quickly. Explosive. Hitters have different terms they use for a fastball like that. Electric. And then with his really good curveball, that's the only 2 pitches he really needs, although he'll mix in some changeups. Check it out. Takes a look, step down, gets his feet right, good separation, stays on top, or tries to.
Albuena brings it down. Quick inning for McCullers right after his offense added 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
A game break takes us to Cincinnati, and that would be Joey Votto going deep, not over, but a lot of runs in this one for both teams. It was a 9-1 Minnesota lead. Minnesota has stormed back to score the next 6. Mike Pelfrey, the former Wichita State Shocker, 2 innings, 9 hits, and 8 runs in that one.
It happens to everybody. You can't always have your best game. We're seeing that here with Blanton.
It is the 4th inning, and George Springer is hitting for the 3rd time. Facing Brandon Finnegan. We got the last out of the 3rd inning in relief of Blanton. Blanton got him to pop out in the 1st and then struck him out in the 2nd.
Not going to see a lot of leadoff hitters with swings like that, but A.J. Hinch said, look, he's my energy player. I'd like to lead him off. Haven't been doing that all year, but recently leading him off, and he gives us a spark. And he's a guy in the clubhouse too, and in the dugout that really gets everything stirred up. There's a lot of energy. Talked about that, but he's also a fun guy. He likes to mix it up with the fellas, and he knows he's here to stay. He can do that. He's confident. Young guy.
2-2.
You know, it used to be the game was made of veteran players. There was only a couple rookies that would come up.
Conte runs that down, went away.
It was the money and the dynamics of the game then. The money went to the veteran guys, and the young guys that came up, they kind of were watched heavily by the veterans, and they kind of policed them, held it down. But you know, nowadays they invest the money in the younger players, so they'll get the chance to come up and play, and they're a little bit more themselves. They can be themselves. If they don't have 10 veterans on the team with a hammer over their head saying, hey, you can't do that. So it's changed. It's allowed some of these guys to become who they are so early.
Altuve led off the 3rd inning with a home run to left field. His 7th. These two, standing around home plate, have known each other their entire lives. And Sal's about as tall as Altuve is when he's down in a crouch.
On his knees.
Both from Venezuela. They've known each other since they were kids. 3-1. Altuve is listed at 5'7", but probably closer to 5'5".
I saw a special on him when he was training in the off season, and he was training with a tractor tire. He was pushing, he would pick it up and push it, and then pick up the other end and push it, and he was using his legs and his upper body with that type of movement to train for strength.
We told you the story before that Altuve went to a tryout in Venezuela for some scouts, and the Astros for a long time they scouted Venezuela better than anybody. Any star that came out of Venezuela for a period of time belonged to the Astros, and Altuve went to the tryout, and the scouts took one look at him and told him to go home. You're not big enough to be a professional baseball player. You're wasting your time and you're wasting our time.
Insulting.
Well, when you're that size and you're an athlete, you've got to have a chip on your shoulder. And Altuve went home and he stewed about it all night. Figured he'd sleep on it. He woke up the next morning. He was still ticked off, and he stormed back to that tryout the next day and informed the scouts that they had made a mistake and that they need to try him out. And so they did it, and they signed him that day. And now those scouts look like geniuses. 2 down as Correa is 0 for 3. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Look at that smile.
Josh Donaldson has an entire country behind him, and he's having a great year. Not to take anything away from him, but he has not only passed Mike Moustakas at third base, but he's passed Salvador Perez for the most votes in the American League.
Typically down the wire, the votes start really coming in. Well, this is where the fans, Royals fans, we got to finish strong. Let's keep our guys in.
Hit by the pitch, or did he hit the bat? He hit the bat. Yep. Valbuena has 2 singles and 2 runs scored. Two and 1.
Finnegan, he's not just a thrower. Here's another kid that impresses with his maturity, at least on the mound. We all know about the spectacular year he had last year. But look at those splits. Lefties or righties aren't doing a whole lot of it. He's got a little deception in his delivery. He throws that glove side arm up and over his head, and that swinging motion can distract the hitter from his release point. Comes at you with a couple of different angles with his arm. He's got a good slider.
Two and 2.
I think I told you this before. He reminds me of a left-handed Goose Gossage, the way he flings that glove out on the side like that, kind of like Goose used to. Not quite the velocity that Goose had in his prime, but similar motion, similar arm stroke. Watch that. Watch his glove. His glove arm. Glove hand.
See it? Nice play, Morales. And the Royals get 4 outs, so they only need to get 2 next inning.
Well, it's only that easy. Time to go, boys.
Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Thoroughbred Ford. For the best deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Lance McCullers pitching very well tonight. And with a 5-run lead, he has set down the last 9 Royals. Alex Rios hits a shot into an empty seat. Rios grounded out to second in the second inning. Rios, Infante, Colon in the top of the 5th. Blooped into center field for a base hit. Leadoff man on for the 3rd time in 5 innings tonight. Well, tomorrow the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup semifinals begin as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on Germany. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. Central on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Or you can join the free watch party hosted by Sporting KC in the living room at KC Power and Light, also starting tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Down to KC now, come on. Down to KC.
Royals just haven't been able, at least to this point, to build any momentum against McCullers. They've had 4 runners, 3 hits and 1 walk, but no hits with the man already on base. I think a lot of the credit so far goes to McCullers rather than criticism of the Royals. He has struck out 4. He has a very good curveball. Good curveball in general, but it's working tonight. It's really dancing tonight. This will be a 70th pitch. Crack back. And Correa. And a risky play, but he connects with Altuve. Not sure if Altuve was expecting that throw.
Well, you know, for the young shortstop, I mean, he's a baby. To be broken in with a second baseman like Altuve, who really is their team leader, that helps him a lot. It helps him stay loose, comfortable. You have a guy like that with the experience that Altuve has so far in his young career. He's able to make plays. They work well together. It really helps, and it's going to help the production of Correa.
Christian Colon takes a strike. Colon was a victim of that curveball in the second inning and struck out.
Color sure has a lot of gyrations. He's bouncy. He's energetic. A lot of twitching going on out there. Watch him how he'll bounce.
This could be 2. Winning over, the Royals back 3 in the top of the 5th inning. So Lance McCullers gets a double play to add to his 4 strikeouts.
Center field, Gerard Dyson warming up in front of me, and one of the signature parts of this park is right here, Towles Hill, one of the unique parts of any stadium in baseball, a hill in center field and the flagpole, and that will not be here much longer. They're going to be doing $15 million of renovations at this park in the offseason, ready for next year. Part of that process will be removing the hill and moving the fences in for a couple of reasons. Better fan experience, although I will say those out here get a nice look at the outfield, and also for the safety of the players. This was, whether it be a gimmick or a throwback to the old days, not easy. We've done a story out here on the pregame show in the past, and it can be jarring for an outfielder running full speed to actually get here to the warning track and then have to climb a hill. And the hitters may not be all that upset about it either, guys. That one's coming out our way right now. There we go.
Well, you're 2 for 2, Joel.
Yeah, it's my fault. Well, Gerard didn't have to climb the hill on that one. And next year, if it goes this distance, it'll be gone. They'll go from 436 to 409.
Second home run given up by a Royals pitcher tonight, both times during one of Joel's reports.
All you got to do, just get under. Are you saying Joel's the reason that they're hitting homers?
No, I'm not saying that. It's a coincidence.
Joel's doing some great investigative reporting for us.
Inside to Singleton. That's the second home run allowed by Finnegan this year. Number 14 for Carter, and RBI number 38. Slider is inside. Singleton's had a good eye tonight. He has walked twice and scored twice.
Well, the looks of that pitch, he's got a great eye. That's a perfect spot for his slider.
Two and two. Strike three called. Finnegan's second strikeout, one down in the fifth inning.
Finnegan's staying with that hard stuff. 93, we've seen 194, but basically low 90s, good movement. Carter just caught one underneath it. As big and strong as he is, high flies like that, they carry here indoors.
Both home runs have been hit to areas that favor a hitter. It's only 315 up the left field line that the Crawford seats. A short porch there, but Altuve's was beyond the Crawford seats. And then there's that little ledge where Chris Carter hit his home run, which hangs out over the wall, but it was well back into that ledge.
Most ballparks, we can show you the flags and let you know what's going on with the air and the wind. But as you can see, the smoke from the train that was sent off when Carter hit the homer, it's going nowhere.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's just stagnant.
It's like a ghost.
Yeah, that's how heavy it is here. There's no carry at all. That's live.
going to be there the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, what's the deal with that? That was absolutely. Where's the AC? Do you think the air conditioning might move some of that smoke around a little bit there?
Is an alien going to come out of that at some point tonight?
I don't know. It's a little strange.
It looks like light reflecting off the glass of the side panels of the roof, but it's not. It's just smoke hovering, and it's not moving. If anything, maybe it's extending a little bit. It's getting longer. So maybe that's how it will dissipate over time. But this is about the time where the man turns into a werewolf. Ow!
Really freak us out.
Oh man, we need Mike Thompson or Brian Busby or Gary Lezak to explain to us that phenomenon.
It's
our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Mike Collins from Grain Valley, and if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Mike wins $300. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Mike wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And that's what the Royals need right now to get back into this game, down 6-0. They have 3 hits and just 4 runners in the first 5 innings against Lance McCullers, who's made very few mistakes.
Royals had their opportunities early, first and second innings. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They couldn't get the big hit early, and now the young man's settling in, got the lead, and he's cruising. Good hard fastball and overhand curve and changeup.
Two and two.
Late breaker. 2 different speeds to that curveball. That's a tight one, almost looks like a slider, and then he takes a lot of miles off of his other one, gives it a big curve. Constantly goes to his pant leg.
That'll reach the seats.
See, he's licking his hands, wipes it, and he uses it right there on his front side. You see that where it's got dirt colored action, you know, hitters watch that. They're going, okay, what is that? Well, it's just where he goes and wipes his hands after each pitch.
Leadoff walk. Now the Royals have had the leadoff man on in 4 of 6 innings. But that leadoff man has gotten to the next base only once. Second walk given up by McCullers. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com. You'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. "15 runs driven in for Mike Moustakas in the month of June. 3 of those game winners. He has 4 on this trip.
Put one in the seats. Who has that ability? Picking it up more, getting some more homers this month. McCullers only given up 1 home run. That was to a righty.
Straightaway center field. Springer fades back. 1 down. And now Lorenzo Cain, who is struck out, and then he lost a blue pit on a diving play by Springer coming up in center field. Here's a number to add to how well McCullers has pitched with men on base. The Royals are 0 for 9 with a man on base. Hit harder to center field for Cain this time, and right to Springer. 2 down. Carlos Correa so far offensively is 0 for 3. But we'll call him our T-Mobile game changer. First 20 major league games, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. One of 3 active players with 27 or more hits, 5 or more home runs, 15 or more RBIs in his first 20 games. Joining Albert Pujols and Jeff Francoeur. Both accomplished that early in their careers. Francoeur in 05 with the Braves and Pujols in 01 with the Cardinals.
Impressive start.
Good movement.
Of course, it starts getting interesting for young players that have come on like that. First time through, it'll get interesting second, third time through the league, and see how pitchers start adjusting to him, pitching him. It'll be a learning curve for him.
Now, I'm no scout, but I remember when Springer was called up last year, and we were here and we all watched him take batting practice, and we wondered if that big swing, you know, you'd be able to pitch to that. At times it looks like an overswing, but I tell you what, Correa, man, he is balanced. He takes a nice, easy swing.
Couldn't try to do too much.
Yeah. Five strikeouts for McCullers, all with that pitch. And now the Royals are 0 for 11 with men on base. are playing the first of 3 inside Minute Maid Park, and we are looking forward to coming home beginning on Thursday. Here's what's cooking at the K, a 4-game series with Minnesota. Buck Night and fireworks on Friday, more fireworks in the Trucker Cap on Saturday, the 4th of July. Then the Rays in for a 4-game series, and then before the All-Star break, a weekend series with John Gibbons and the Toronto Blue Jays.
There's not an easy break anywhere. Matter of fact, that's why this is Major League Baseball. You're going to face good teams, but some teams are better than others, obviously. But in baseball, you never know one night to the next what's going to happen. But we know we got a good, exciting ball club. And they're facing another young, exciting ball club, a lot like the Royals were 2-3 years ago, or like the Astros are now. Maybe overachieving just a little so far this year, but that's a good thing.
Hey, they don't look like it tonight. I mean, they've pitched well, they've defended just fine, having good plate appearances. I mean, they're taking some wild swings. I mean, they've only struck out 4 times in 5 innings, but they've also taken advantage of 5 walks.
Well, they're playing the game right, and A.J. Hinch, he's the one who told me we might be playing a little bit over our skis at this particular time, but it's welcome.
Moustakas charges in to make the play and retire Castro, who is 0 for 3. And now George Springer struggling at the moment. He is 0 for 3 and just 2 for his last 27. And at this point in his career, with that kind of swing, big swing like that, it'd probably be hot and cold.
Sure enough.
We saw the hot part of it. Springer, it took him 20 games to hit his first major league home run, and then he hit 7 in 7 games. And that was right in the middle of an Astros 3-game sweep at Kauffman Stadium at the end of May, which was probably the low point of the season. And then the Royals went to Toronto and turned their season around the very next day. But that was part of the coming out party for George Springer. Fastball makes it 2-1.
I remember. But I remember in Toronto that next day, Ned giving his pregame talk to the media. He was down in the dumps. He was a little bit down. Jose Reyes turned it all around for the Royals.
Yeah, the Royals made a change at hitting coach. Went to Toronto after being swept by the Astros. Not playing well. They fell to 4 games below 500, and the Royals had a game that was lost. Just kind of a flat game, that first game in Toronto, and Jose Reyes threw a routine ground ball away that would have ended the game, and it would have been another loss for the Royals, and the Royals used that for inspiration and won that game in extra innings. And I don't know this, maybe Dave Holtzman can look it up, but I will bet you the Royals have the best record in the American League since getting swept by the Astros at home last year.
Wow, good call. The light switch went on.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
Springer, he gets loaded up. He winds up that swing, and he's charging right in there, diving out over the plate. It's like he wants to hit every single pitch. Upright stance.
Walks given up by Royals pitchers tonight. That is Finnegan's second, 1 on, 1 out. That was right. The Royals are 36 games above 500 since being swept by the Astros at Kauffman Stadium last year. 109 and 73.
Impressive. That's quite a light switch that went on.
upstairs to Jose Altuve. He homered leading off the third inning. He has hit in 8 straight. Batted .341 last year, becoming the first Astro to win a batting title in either league.
This is a pretty good controlled big swing.
Ball to strike. Altuve trying to sell it inside, bending backward. Finnegan's ahead, 1-2. Tied him up. Good pitch. Out at second. And a double play. So Brandon Finnegan goes a season high 3 1/3 innings. Royals coming up in the 7th. Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. No chance for the Astros to lead off the top of the 7th with a home run, so let's bring in Joel.
I'm going to just get a home run right now.
Okay, well, let's see.
It's guaranteed. And then I'll come back when they load the bases, and we'll be back in the game.
It happened in Seattle, too, didn't it? Weren't you doing a report?
Yeah, I got a rough stretch, although I did have one with Kendrys Morales homering in St. Louis when Joe Vargas, Jason's dad, did the play-by-play on it, or the analysis, right? That worked out pretty well. Anyway, you talked about that cloud out in left field, and that's now being talked about quite a bit on Twitter. A guy named @Conrad McGorkin, he does a lot of funny things, did a Lefevre's smoke alien, and Brian Busby chimed in saying,
wow.
There we go. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
See? I'll be here all night.
Stay hot.
I'll be here the whole inning.
Homer Goldberg.
You called it.
Number 13 for Salvador Perez. So where were you, Joel, when the Royals batted in the first 6 innings?
I was trying to talk. Nobody would listen.
You have that problem, too?
Lance McCullers may be glaring at me right now.
Joel has been on 3 times in the middle of the game today, and all 3 times somebody's hit a home run.
Oh, that ball was tattered. Short porch or not.
Just got popular on Twitter again.
That's out of the Grand Canyon National Park.
I'm reminded what Chris Young said a couple of weeks ago. The game tends to make people very illogical. Anyway, Brian Busby said, weird cloud, like you said, my bet is aliens. There's your meteorological
view. He didn't give us a scientific
he said aliens.
Reason for that? Okay.
Well, whatever was left of it has been washed away with that homer. The tracer from that ball Salvi hit, that cleaned the air.
Carter to the bag to get Alex, who's 1 for 3. Just a little haze remaining, but almost in the exact same area. I mean, it's just kind of, it's dissipated. It's diffused. It hasn't really moved. I think Brian can give us a little better explanation than that, can he? Alex Rios 1 for 2 with a 5th inning single. A number that stands out in what has held McCullers tonight and held down the Royals is that the Royals are 0 for 11 tonight with a man on base. So they've had some base runners. They had 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. They have the leadoff man on in 5 of 7 innings. But once that man has gotten on, McCullers has basically just slammed the door on the Royals. Six strikeouts, all with the breaking ball. 2 down in the 7th inning. So 1 out away from giving the Astros 7 innings. He is still under 100 pitches. And number 99 is inside to Omar Infante. McCullers does have a complete game. He has had a few starts this year where he has not even gone 5 innings. I think he's had 4 starts where he's gone 5 innings or fewer. 5 of 8. He has gone 5 or fewer. But he also has a complete game victory. That was against Baltimore. He went 7 innings against Chicago. Now trying to go 7 innings against the Royals tonight.
Well, I'm sure the Royals will tell you they're pretty impressed with what they've seen so far tonight.
7th inning stretch in Houston, and Astros fans have a lot to cheer about tonight. They have hit 2 home runs. They have scored 6. And Lance McCullers has really only made this mistake all night.
Tampa Bay. First Panera, though, as Cincinnati 11-7. That's good news for the Royals. Cleveland finally wins. Texas over Baltimore. And Boston beats Toronto. Now let's go to Tampa. This is so Cleveland. The poor Indians are struggling. And Cody Anderson had a no-hitter. Who breaks it up? Grady Sizemore, the longtime Indian. But Cleveland will gladly take a much-needed win. 7-1 is the final. And as Carlos Correa comes up, I'm turning off my mic. I'm out of here. Bye.
So I guess it doesn't count if he's not talking. Luke Hochevar is a Chevy call to the bullpen, and Joel was doing a report as we began the bottom of the third. Jose Altuve homered while he was talking. He came on in the bottom of the fifth, and during his report, Chris Carter homered, and then was with us during the top of the seventh inning when Salvador Perez homered. Carlos Correa pulls it foul into the crowd. Nice catch by a fan. He brought his glove and away. Well-deserved high fives. Correa, Valbuena, and Carter against Hochevar in the bottom of the seventh inning. Hochevar got himself in and out of trouble the last time he pitched on Tuesday in Seattle. Opened the inning with back-to-back walks and then retired 3 in a row, including a couple of strikeouts. And now ahead of Correa, 1-2.
Coach is going to mix him up on Correa and the rest of the hitters he sees. Nice job by Finnegan. Just gave up one solo homer. Fastball low to mid. Nice big curve, change up. He might throw a cutter in there. Like that one.
Well, if nothing dramatically happens and the Astros win this game, if there is going to be a silver lining, it will be that with Joe Blanton going 2 2/3 innings, it's possible that Ned Yost may only need 2, possibly 3 relievers to get through the rest of the game. Wade Davis threw 43 pitches in his previous 2 outings combined. Kelvin Herrera has pitched in 2 of the last 3 days. Greg Holland has pitched in 2 of the last 3 days. Franklin Morales has pitched in 2 of the last 3 days. So it's still a tough pill to swallow to come in and lose a game in a series with the Astros, and yet the bullpen will be 100% rested, at least the back end of the bullpen. So Finnegan has done his job, going 3 1/3. He only gave up 1 hit. It happened to be a home run. Still 2-2 from Hochevar to Correa.
Starting rotation for Ned Yost coming into this game, 399 innings. That's the fewest in the American League.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
That's included 3 rainouts, though, so we've missed some innings there by our starters. But still, I think Dayton Moore and Ned Yost knew coming into the season that they were going to need some extra help, and that's why they signed Young, Blanton, Medlin. They knew that they were going to need some reinforcement at some point during the year, and you always do.
Hit sharply to Moustakas. Ball came up on him, but he stayed with it.
All teams have issue the starting rotation during the course of the season. But when you have a deep bullpen like he's got, that'll save you.
2 weeks from tomorrow, baseball's best will be in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic, with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. July 14th on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, the Royals expect to get back to the World Series again this year. So I'm interested to see how Ned Yost manages getting into the later innings. You know, will he try and get a guy in just to get him in and make his city happy and his team happier? Is he gonna, you know, will he maybe not pinch hit somebody late in the game because he wants someone to stay in and get a big at bat? I mean,
it'll be a great all-star game to watch.
Like the rule or not like the rule, it is what it is, and it affects, I think, how managers manage that game in the later innings, because most of the time that team's manager, unless you know you're the Boston Red Sox and you go from the World Series to last like they did last year, but most of those managers, you know, they're in contention again the next year, and they're thinking, hey, I may upset the fans in Tampa Bay by not bringing so and so into the game, but my fans and my team will be happy when we have home field advantage in the World Series. Valbuena goes down on strikes, 2 down in the 7th inning.
No, you're right. And it was interesting hearing Lloyd McClendon's comments that he could go to the All-Star game and relax. He's not in the hot seat. He doesn't have to make all those moves that Ned's going to have to make.
Two down to Chris Carter, who is homered tonight.
Boy, Hoach, he looks good tonight. That curveball he threw in that last at bat to Valbuena, it was a beauty. Straight 12-6 drop on the clock. Good stuff. Good cutter he's got. Fastball looks pretty explosive.
One and one.
Here's the curveball I was talking about. Look at that. That is in the low part of the strike zone. That's a perfectly thrown curve, just where you want it. Textbook, right out of the manual.
And Carter fooled badly by that pitch. He was convinced he was going to get a fastball, and that ball just darted down and away.
Hammer.
Ball stayed up, and it's fouled away by Carter. 2-2.
It's the only way you can get a piece of that if it's elevated.
Got him with a fastball up at 94. That's Hochevar's second 1-2-3 inning of the season. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
That won't be a shutout tonight. Salvi took care of that. One swing. Almost reached the tracks up there at the top. Batting practice, I saw Salvi hit him over the tracks. Up against that window in the back.
This is lefty Joe Thatcher. So McCullers goes 7 innings. Gives up 1 run, 3 hits. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and at least by my count, all 6 strikeouts were with that breaking ball. Colon, Dyson, and Moustakas coming up in the 8th inning.
We'll see a veteran lefty, 87 and 91, with some extreme deception.
Tucker makes a play in left field, 1 down.
He cuts that fastball, slider, occasional changeups. But that windup, man, that's funky. Side armor, side winder.
.33-year-old Joe Thatcher. He's played with the Padres, the Diamondbacks, the Angels, and this is his first year with the Astros. And boy, if you're a left-hand batter, you have a lot to keep track of when he begins his motion.
Well, you try to not focus on the arms and legs and try to pick up that release point, but he makes it difficult throwing everything at you.
I mean, you've got a foot, a knee, a shoulder,
and he hides the ball behind him. Watch how he curls his wrist. Last minute there.
Two and one on Dyson. He's been on base twice. The Royals' best scoring opportunity before the Perez home run was right away. Dyson, who was moved to the leadoff spot minutes before the game tonight, he doubled. And Lance McCullers got out of that. Dyson never got to third, and that was just a preview of things to come for McCullers tonight against the Royals. And Dyson is on for a 3rd time. And a look back at the outing of Lance McCullers in his 9th start of the year and our sprint cuts of the game.
He was explosive. Good fastball, curveballs. I mean, that curveball was his go-to pitch for sure. Keeping it down. Used his defense, and it helped when he got a big lead.
Almost nailed by the first pitch.
If you're a pitching coach, this guy Thatcher, he must give you headaches. How do you fix those mechanics?
Right. And there's a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah. Where do you start?
And speaking of pitching coaches, the Astros pitching coach is Brent Strom, who's a former Royals pitching coach. There he is. He's back there. Grounded to first. Carter right on the bag, and that's the only out. Dyson goes to second base. And A.J. Hinch comes out. So you've got A.J. Hinch, the Astros manager. He played for the Royals. Brent Strom was a Royals pitching coach. Trey Hillman, the bench coach, was a Royals manager. And Richie Dower, the Astros first base coach, was a Royals third base coach. Will Harris comes on to pitch for the Astros. With a 2.17. Danny Duffy's overall numbers aren't where he would like them to be, but he pitched well in his first start back from the disabled list against Seattle. A well-bearded pitching matchup tomorrow. Only Sonny Gray, and the Royals missed him in Oakland. Only Sonny Gray has a better earned run average in the American League.
Won't be easy.
Will Harris comes on to face Lorenzo Cain with 1 on 2 out in the 8th inning to prevent Lorenzo from hitting a 5-run home run to tie it.
Well, maybe A.J. Hinch wants to get a few of his guys some work. Hopefully he's not mixing and matching the rest of the way, though, to your point.
Lorenzo is 0 for 3 tonight. He is lined to center field. He's also blooped to center field, and on that play, George Springer made the defensive play of the game. Lorenzo's the DH. Ned Yost wants to give him at least a couple of days to let that sore right hamstring heal up. Eric Hosmer is not in the lineup tonight. Alcides Escobar is not in the lineup tonight. Breaking ball is pulled to third. And Valbuena puts an end to the Royals' half of the 8th inning. 2 more games remain here in Houston. Fox Sports Kansas City invites you to join current and former Royals players on the field August 31st for Diamond of Dreams. You'll enjoy a menu from local restaurants, live music, and a fireworks show, all for charity. And you can buy tickets now at Royals.com/Diamond of Dreams. It's a great event. A lot of fun. Get a chance to mingle with players, coaches, front office staff. And maybe you're saying, wait a minute, I was all prepared to go on July 23rd. Well, that was the original date, but because of the rain out in St. Louis, the Royals have to go back to St. Louis on the 23rd. So Diamond of Dreams was moved to August 31st.
Fair enough.
Great food. Really an enjoyable evening. Jason Frazier, bottom of the 8th inning. Joe Blanton went 2 2/3. He gave up 5. But the rest of the bullpen has done a good job of picking him up. In particular, Brandon Finnegan, who goes a season high 3 1/3 innings. Luke Hochevar looked as good as he's looked all year in a scoreless 7th inning, and now Frazier.
Yeah, it's great to see those guys pitching well, especially Hochevar. Hochevar, it's going to take him some time still to get his rhythm and everything back, and the Royals they've known that, but nice to see his stuff tonight. Was very crisp. Finnegan looked pretty strong.
It's also a career high for Finnegan, 3 1/3 innings. Royals are usually pretty good at keeping the ball in the strike zone. Tonight the Astros have walked 6 times against Royals pitching, and Singleton has walked twice. Both times he turned those into runs. He's also struck out. Still 1 2. It's been a while for Finnegan. He last pitched 8 days ago in the Boston series, or a Frazier rather. Got to go back to a week ago Sunday, the last time he appeared.
He was good and strong. Salvi wanted that just because he was set up away. He's shaking his head saying,
That's why.
Yep. Good pitch.
Alex leaping and didn't get it. It looked like he may have grabbed a slot on that manual scoreboard out in left field to give him a little leverage, a little extra leverage, and leaping up for that ball.
Well, that's a tricky outfield fence, that's for sure. You see him, he knew exactly where he was. There he is with that right hand. There he is. He's trying to get a little leverage.
Knocks that one down.
Good try.
The ball knocked another one down. That scoreboard fell to pieces on that play.
They'll put it back.
And he is not sending a sympathy card to the scoreboard operator.
None.
So Singleton gets an extra strike and has a leadoff double. This is Preston Tucker. He has driven in one of the Astros runs. Member of our crew has suggested that Alex's effort in left field in no way will threaten Vanna White.
Well, I haven't seen that kind of effort from Vanna White.
One and two on Preston Tucker.
Tucker's in there for that bat. His best position might be first base. He's not the greatest of outfielders.
Or this might be his best position.
DH.
Or standing at the plate.
Right. Easy swing.
He set an Astros record last month. He had 2 pinch hit home runs in the same series. That had never been done in the history of the Houston Astros.
Well,
did that against the Tigers in May.
That's impressive. Makes him the candidate stick on that ball club just for what he can do off the bench.
Bring in a rookie who's not going to be overwhelmed by the situation. Game on the line.
Well, that'll give him confidence for the rest of the year for sure.
You know, just thinking when we just showed you A.J. Hinch in the Astros dugout. Really good guy. He was enjoyable to be around when he was with the Royals. Very thoughtful. And because of that, I'm really happy that he got another opportunity to manage. He was put into a tough situation with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and yet at the same time, Arizona was doing some forward thinking. The industry wasn't perhaps ready for it at the time, and the Diamondbacks may not have had enough mature players on their roster at the time, but Arizona was really the first team to take a guy who didn't have coaching or managerial experience and put him in the dugout because of his personality, his ability to manage people, his ability to analyze today's numbers. So it didn't work out for him in Arizona, but then Mike Matheny in St. Louis, Walt Weiss in Colorado, Brad Ausmus in Detroit, Robin Ventura in Chicago,
Craig Counsell
with the Brewers, and then in an extreme case of that, Dan Jennings with the Marlins, a general manager putting a uniform on and managing. I don't know, you know, remains to be seen if that will work out or not, but I mean, I remember Arizona fans and even experts around the country, baseball experts, thought that was a very curious and against the grain type of a move by the Diamondbacks, but who knew that that was going to lead to a very popular trend. Josh Burns was the general manager of the Diamondbacks at the time, and that was one of the reasons why he eventually lost his job, was a poor choice in manager in A.J. Hinch. Josh Burns then went to the Padres and hired A.J. Hinch to his front office. And now you hire A.J. Hinch and nobody bats an eye at it. He was, Dave Holtzman reminds me, he was only 34 at the time.
Wow, that's young.
So anyway, good for him.
Yes. Good story.
Tucker wins that long battle and walks for the second time, and that's 7 walks allowed by Royals pitching tonight.
Fraser, it's easy to say when you haven't pitched in over a week that timing's going to be off a little.
Royals season high is 8 this year. That was in May at Texas. 8 walks as a pitching staff.
I'll bet that was a loss.
An 8-2 loss, to be exact.
Can't walk that many hitters. Win.
Tonight, at least so far, only 2 of those walks have come around to score, but they've also moved runners up that have eventually scored. Good news out of Cincinnati. The Reds have beaten Minnesota 11-7. Detroit did not play today. So the Royals, if they do not come back tonight, they will go to bed and wake up tomorrow with their 5.5 game lead in the Central. And by not playing, Detroit will pick up a half game. In the dirt. Perez on it quickly and goes to second.
Man, nice heads-up play. I don't know. That looked pretty close. Infante with a good quick tag on Tucker. Boy, nice to hit the umpire in the leg. It gave Salvi a chance, but he pounced on it like a puma cat. He was all over it. Quick reaction. Watch his tag. See if we can get it in there on him.
Medios has gone back into the dugout, so no challenge. And now the Royals, they need, if nothing changes, at least 5 in the 9th inning. So with nobody out and runners at second and third, they'll bring the infield in. 1-2 on Santana. And he fouls it into the crowd. Domingo Santana walked with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning and singled in a run in the 3rd inning. Houston got 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. And the Royals' only run came in the 7th inning on a home run by Salvador Perez, who's now homered in back-to-back games. Fastball struck him out. 2nd and 3rd, 1 down.
Good pitch by Frazier. That caught him by surprise. Good spot. Santana swing a little bit too long. A little late.
Jason Castro batting just .213. Castro 2 years ago hit 18 home runs, which was an Astros record for a catcher. He hit 7 last year and his batting average dropped 54 points. He has 7 home runs as we speak. And his batting average has tumbled even more, down to .213.
Oh, he's another guy with a long swing, and you wonder how successful they can be with all of these power hitters with big swings in there, how long that'll last. Castro, he's their veteran guy, believe it or not. He's in his 5th season. He's a veteran. You're typically a veteran after your 4th year in the majors. That's what they say, anyway.
2-1. Two and 2.
A lot of foul balls off Frazier. It's because he's sneaky quick. He's getting that ball in on their hands, and with those long swings, they're not able to get out there and meet it. It's not like he's blowing it by him. It's a compliment to how sneaky he can be. 90 to 92, 93 maybe. Once in a while he'll get 93, but holding that split finger grip there. He'll throw that occasionally with 2 strikes.
Well, Frazier, in his mind, pitching like it's a 1-run game or a tied game late. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and now back-to-back strikeouts. And it's 2nd and 3rd and 2 down.
Yeah, he sees those runners out there. He's going, all right, time to bear down. And the hitters he's faced this inning, they haven't been able to get a good look on his fastball, and their swings are way too long.
And now Springer, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. Now the infield can relax and go back to their normal depth.
Fastball's the pitch working for him. They need to throw that slider.
Two big swings, no balls, 2 strikes. Michael Phillies getting ready for the 9th inning with Morales, Perez, and Gordon coming up. He was warmed up and ready to go and just waiting for this half inning to end. One and 2. On the ground to Colon. In the dirt. Scooped by Morales with a backhand. So the Astros had runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out, and Frazier gets out of it.
Nice pick.
We've come to expect to see a lot of Royals fans on the road. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, with producer Joe Lavero, director Steve Kurtenbach, Associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. Kendrys Morales has an 11-game hitting streak on the line here. He walked in the first inning and has struck out in his last 2 at bats. And Will Harris stays in the game. Michael Feliz was standing on the mound. He appeared to be warmed up and ready to come in. And Will Harris, who got the final out of the 8th inning, stays on. On the ground to Altuve. The underhands to Carter. One away.
Morales filling in for Hosmer tonight and possibly the next 2. Showing some nice glove work that last inning there. Colon's throw was a little short, and it wasn't a short hop pick either. That's called a long hop pick. That's the toughest one out of all of them, and he picked it with no problem. Talking with him before the game, I said, "Why are you so good over there?" He said, "Because I work at it and I watch him during batting practice."
Back to Harris. 2 down. Salvi has accounted for the only Royals run with a home run in the 7th inning. So it's Alex with 2 down and nobody on. 1 for 3 tonight. $20,419 inside Minute Maid Park. One and one. Big number tonight. Royals are 0 for 13 hitting with a man on base. They had 2 runners in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, a home run in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. So they've had base runners. They haven't been completely shut down by the Astros, but just never able to build any momentum. Lance McCullers went 7. Gave up the 1 run and struck out 6. I'm sure Ned Yost will give him quite a bit of credit tonight. Three and 2.
And I think you should. He was good. First time the Royals have seen him.
He's on with a walk.
"35th walk for Alex." Like that. He's not giving in.
Alex Rios singled in the 5th inning. You know, the Royals had the leadoff man on in 5 of the first 7 innings. Now, one of those was a home run, so there was never really a runner on base. But in 5 of the first 7 innings, the first batter either got a hit or a walk. One and one from Harris to Rios.
Astros bullpen They're good, but they're not overpowering. A lot of ground ball pitchers coming out of A.J. Hinch's bullpen.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a much improved bullpen. You know, the Astros have the second best bullpen ERA in the league. Last year, they were worst in the American League. The year before, they were the worst in the major leagues. That's a huge upgrade for them. And as we know, in today's baseball, if your bullpen is good, you win. If your bullpen is bad, you lose. No way around it.
And he did it by going and getting veteran guys. A lot of journeyman pitchers that have fit in well here out of the pen.
Two.
92, 93 used to be the standard for a hard thrower. It's not anymore.
First hit tonight for the Royals with a man on base. And a 2-hit game for Rios. And now the Royals are one runner away from creating a save situation. And Brent Strom is going to go out and have a chat with Will Harris. Luke Gregerson warms up. Gregerson has 18 saves.
And you know, you talk about a bullpen full of guys that throw sinker sliders and ground balls. That works pretty well when you have a shifting defense like the Astros. As long as you got them in the right place.
Omar Infante 0 for 3. On and away, ball one. Infante has hit safely in 12 of his previous 13 games. He's gotten some big hits for the Royals on this trip. And a line drive to third will end the game. Jose Altuve hit one of Houston's 2 home runs. Chris Carter also went deep. And the Astros scoring 6 runs tonight. 5 of those came in the first 3 innings. And they put an end to the Royals' 4-game winning streak. Coming up, Boulevard Royals Live with